frustrating one tonight. What lacked from your team? I guess ironic.
So, like, last week when we talked and we had this conversation, I wasn't happy with the captains, but at this point it's the whole team, right? I can't put blame on 2 to 3 individuals for that effort. The only 2 to 3 individuals I can put that effort on, I guess, would be myself and Ryan. But still, at the end of the day, the way those guys play for each other is non-existent. Like, hockey's the ultimate team sport, and they don't want to play for each other. And when we spend this week and we bring in the development guys to get better, and we work specifically on, some things in the D zone, and it just doesn't translate to a game, it's like we just beat our heads against the wall. And what's ultimately really frustrating is, people come and spend their hard-earned money to watch us, and that's the effort we put forward. And that's embarrassing, and it's not right, and it's not fair to the people that do come and watch and support us. And the great thing about hockey is there's another game tomorrow, but this group I'm running out of options with this group pretty quickly.
Speak on tomorrow night's game, and it's going to be a quick return. Little time to dwell on this and try and redeem things tomorrow. With the status of Keith Petruzzelli, is there any status update you can provide here post game?
Vinny will play tomorrow.
Speaking of the road trip for tomorrow, do you have any optimism, or are you staying realistic?
I mean, I feel optimistic pretty every day coming to the rink. That's why I know I love my job, because every day I show up and I'm excited to see what we're going to bring. The realistic part is we have to figure it out as a group. Too many individuals, too many single efforts, not enough second, third efforts. Like, they try to play the game their way, and it's not working, and it hasn't been working. And when we try to play it our way, the way we'd like them to, it seems to produce results. The factor or the hard part of all of that is getting them to listen and believe that what we're trying to preach to them is actually going to help them. Because it's going to get to a point here where these guys in their careers is just going to be over. And when they're working a different job, when they're raising kids, when they're doing whatever else with their lives, they're probably going to miss what they're doing now. And I think too many guys take it for granted.
Talk about injuries and challenges last week. Are there any obstacles that your team faces that spectators may not think about or notice or overall ignore?
For what I can speak on, we have 8 guys on the IR right now. And we've currently gone through 41 players, which is the most in the entire league. And I've only made 2 trades to acquire players. So the rest of those guys are guys I'm having to bring in to fill out a roster. And to compare to last year, even when I took over and I made a lot of changes, we had like 58 players, correct? So the fact that we're at 41 players and we're not even at Christmas yet speaks volumes of the issues we're having. We don't have the same lineup every night. We're not consistent enough every night. I know I said this last week. We don't do it hard enough for long enough, consistently enough. And yes, there are challenges getting new guys in and having them adjust. But as coaches, we try to simplify the game as much as we can to make it easier for everybody.
In your opinion, is there any excuse for the lack of shots on goal tonight? Or do you believe that was a solid effort with the team we're playing against?
Well, our first 2 periods were brutal. So to have, 10 shots through 2 periods? So to put up 13 or 14 in the third, playing the way we want them to play, speaks volume to them in there. Like, even last weekend we were out shooting Wheeling and we're producing shots. So I'm not worried about our shot count or our shot total. It's just a matter of doing the right things the right way. And that's what this group does not do right now.
What was your overall assessment of the events that took place after the first period? And did that negatively impact your locker room, or was it encouragement?
Truth be told, that had zero effect on anybody in there. And to see your face, I wish everybody else could see your face, because that is the problem. The fact that we have an SPHL call-up fighting for his teammates, the fact that our starting goalie is having to fight for his teammates and nobody else is, that's our problem. And I have never been a part of a group that is just so dead, that is just so flat. And it's crazy because they like each other. They get along. They do stuff outside the rink. They go to Baja. They go to meals. They hang out. Like, they do a lot of stuff as a team. And for whatever reason, when they get together and they put their uniforms on, it just doesn't work.
And last one, is there anything positive that you would take from this game, whether it was on the ice or off the ice after the game or off the ice during intermission? Is there anything that stood out to you in a positive way?
Our 5-on-3 penalty kill was good to start that period. Still stupid to give up the power play goal ultimately, but no, the message after the second period was, guys, like, your way once again is not working, so please try our way and just play for each other for 20 minutes and let's just see what happens. And we didn't win the game. We won the period. We outshot them in the period, I think. I didn't look at the stats yet, but we're not Wheeling. We're not Toledo. We're not Fort Wayne. We're not Tahoe. We're not going to be a team that's going to outskill everybody. And as soon as they start to realize that, the better we're going to be. Because still too many individualistic efforts. Some of our best players, they just dead end the puck all over the ice. They just kill the plays all over the ice. And if your best players aren't producing and putting up points, it's hard. And we need to be a blue-collar team right now to get out of this. And that's what we have to focus on here tomorrow.
Just, Shane, if you can share from a player's perspective what lacked from the team in tonight's loss.
I just think our effort overall tonight, we didn't start the game on time, and it showed in the first period. And we just had no fight back at all. We didn't play hard to start the game, and we just kind of had no pushback at all, and that's unacceptable from us as players. We have to find a way to start the game on time, and we have to find a way to play a full 60 minutes.
Coach discussed overall the team lacked that ability to push back, and it's a group effort. What can you say from your netminder almost taking it into his own hands, trying to give a spark, and what was the tone in the locker room when everybody did get back into the locker room for the intermission?
I mean, the first period, the tone was not good. Obviously, we have to be pissed off about that and not be happy with it. Our goalies are top-notch in this league, and they do everything for us. They keep us in every game. They give us a chance to win every night. And for KP to go out there and fight at the end of the first period for our team after being pissed off himself with what happened, that's a lot of credit to him, and a lot of respect goes to him for doing that and trying to get the boys fired up.
Was there anything that was unspoken amongst all of you in the locker room, the skaters and the goalies alone, not the coaches? Was there anything unspoken about the energy after that first period?
We talked this week about like 3 key words amongst the team and just kind of our effort, our attitude, and our consistency as a team. And none of those were there in the first period tonight. I think the second and third were a little bit better. Obviously, the 2 quick goals to start the second weren't great, but I think we kind of found our game a little bit in the third, and we played hard, and we ended up winning that period. But just kind of going back to the first, we had no effort, and it's kind of sad.
How are you facing the obstacles, personally or professionally, when it comes to the chemistry and balance with all these injuries?
I mean, as crazy as we can sit here and say all the injuries, when you look up and down our roster, we've had the same core of guys in our lineup every single night, and the chemistry should be there. It's a good group. We get along really well, and it's just about finding that and bringing it onto the ice now. And at some point, the injuries can't be brought up anymore, and they can't be used as an excuse, because this is pro hockey, and it's got to be a next man up mentality, and guys need to start stepping up and kind of filling those roles and want to win games here.
You have a long night ahead of you, so how are you staying positive and optimistic throughout this road trip?
I mean, at the end of the day, all we can do is really forget about today and focus on winning one game tomorrow, coming out hard, playing a full 60 minutes, and getting a win tomorrow.
Shane, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.